Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 93 of Cross Button VR, our journey into the world of VR. Now, I'm your host, Laurie, and it is an absolute honor to be joined by two of the most behemoth influencers in the metaverse. It's Alex and Reece.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
How's it going?
I'm sure Switch episode was 93. We got
What?
93 episodes. We got 93 episodes in the playlist. This episode's 94.
Nah, no way.
Yeah, 100%. I'm right this time. I'll put money on it.
Welcome to episode 93 or 94 of Cross Button VR.
Doesn't really matter. We're here.
We're here. That's it. Yeah, it's fine.
Who cares anymore?
We're here. Well, as long as we're not at 100 and we haven't missed that, that's
We're not
fine.
at 100 yet.
That's all that matters.
No,
Alex will let
certainly
me
not.
know when we hit 100. We're so close, aren't we now? Wherever we are. Even
Few
6 or
weeks.
7 weeks away, we just no way of knowing for sure. Yes, but you're both well.
Yes. Nice to be back. Thank
Oh,
you
lovely.
Good to have you
for
back.
holding the fort without me. Thank you. I know people probably know why I've not been here, but my dad sadly did pass away, and thank you very much to everyone who's reached out on the nice messages, because it has meant a hell of a lot to me. So thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that people are there for you and been able to rally around. But yeah, everyone been playing some nice VR this week?
Have managed to get the headset back on, a few little games here and there, getting caught up. I'm a little bit behind, but I'll catch up.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I'm very behind, but it's fine. That's why we got Reece here, Alex. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if we don't play anything. We've got Mr. VR himself with us now. But yes, well, it's good. Anyway, is everyone getting ready for Christmas? Everyone been?
Yes. In the
You are.
panic stages.
No,
We're
I'm not
we're
getting
not
ready.
organised.
Well, I think I've done most of my Christmas shopping now. I just kind of did it all in one hit on Black Friday. Just ordered everything.
I'm trying to decide what I want from Santa. That's my biggest issue at the minute, because we always get one thing from myself and one thing from my husband from Santa, so that our son doesn't think it's all about him. And it's always the hardest bit to decide what you actually want.
Yeah. I had to have like a wish list of stuff that my wife just pick stuff from, and sometimes she'll mix it up with some extra bits as well. But yeah. So I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something I want, I hope.
You hope.
Yeah, I see. It's just when you're grown up, so you want something, you just go and buy it, don't you? Especially you.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
like,
Yeah.
so whatever.
Yeah, it's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah. So I feel like I've treated myself to quite a lot of stuff the last few weeks since Black Friday, and then PS4, PS5 Pros, and TVs and stuff, whatnot. So anyway, let's jump into the show, because we've got lots to talk about. Before we do though, if you want to give us a sub on whatever subs they're using, that'd be good. And if you're on YouTube, hit like and subscribe, leave us a comment, and that'd be great. And you can follow us on Blue Sky at Crossbutton VR. So cool. Well, this week I think we've all been playing lots of Behemoth, and we did put out a snap episode of this, our first impression video, which we recorded earlier in the week. Suffice it to say, we were very impressed, and we've been loving it. Alex, I think you've had a chance to play as well now, haven't you?
I have. I mean, the first thing I would say is this game is stunning to look at. Like when you first get into the game, even right from the beginning, as the snow's coming towards you, and the way it kind of introduces you to the setting and the atmosphere and everything. Even at that point, you're like, "This is stunning," and then you get to that first vista, and you're like, "Wow." I'm having a lot of fun with this. I'm not the best at these games, like in terms of actual physical combat. I haven't hit any walls or anything yet, but I mean, like, it's quite fun in terms of slitting people's throats, or once you start to be able to throw the daggers, or all the different bits, and then just exploring. I did have a bit of an issue at the beginning, like the first tower it wants you to climb, and I kept thinking I had to go up the middle of it, missing the different grapple points, and I'm like, why do I keep dying here? And I'm like, because I missed that one. And I was getting a little bit frustrated at that point, but as you learn it and you start to understand the mechanics, and they're quite like how you can fire the ropes and you can go up and down them, or you can use them to pull things, and then working out what weapons you like, what you don't like, whether you want to go sword and shield, whether you just want daggers and swords, whether you want that bow and arrow. Like, it just lets you do what you want to do. But I haven't got far enough yet to have actually faced one of the Behemoths. But I look forward to that point because you can tell that's going to be pretty epic just from how they introduce you to them and how much you just that first, like, when you first see them, you get this the immense scale of them. You're like, right, this is going to be epic.
Yeah. When you just mentioned there about the different weapons, I need to experiment more because I find like the sword, I think, this looks like a better sword than the last one, so I'll stick with this one now. But yeah, I haven't really used my bow and arrow because there's not enough. There doesn't seem to be that many arrows around, so I've never got into the swing of bow and arrowing yet. I'm just all about kind of the sword and shield combo. But then I saw Reece's your video on the Snap that you had like double dual sword wielding. I was like, well, that looks quite effective. That looks like a good way of doing it.
It works.
And then the dagger. I was like, not using daggers at all. I should be sneaking up and stabbing more people with my dagger and stuff.
Or chucking them at them. I quite like throwing them.
just launch them. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. I need to kind of get the knack of it as to when, because sometimes I just drop it and I'm like, oh. It's sort of like I'm
bounces off their head. It's like, oops.
Stealth ninja. Yeah, which is what I'd be like in real life, I think. I'd just be like, oh, I'm going to throw it. Oh, I dropped it.
I didn't quite...
that.
But it's like you don't quite have enough slots as well, because you get like your shield, and then you get like a sword. If you have like a really good sword, like Reece says, like massive sword you get before the beat. And I'm like, oh, I want to hang on to this sword, but it's so fucking awkward to carry the sword around everywhere.
You can hold it in the middle.
Can you? Because I'll put it in my side thing, and it's like ridiculous because it kind of just like huge big thing. So that. And
I also didn't realise like you could hold 3 daggers at a time as well. It's like so I can keep more of these here. Like right, okay. But
it's I mean, I'm halfway through or near the end of the third part where you go to face the third Behemoth. And for me, the second Behemoth gave me probably one of the best VR experiences I've ever had. Like,
wow.
It was
cool.
I think it's something a lot of other people have been saying as well. And I think both of you, when you get to that point as well, you probably feel the same. It was pretty much just a mind-blowing experience for me.
Wow. Was the time to get to the second one about the same as what it was for the first one? Or is it longer or shorter?
I feel like it's like, the way I've kind of summarised it is like 2 hours of just fighting marauders and a mini-boss. Then you do the Behemoth, which can last anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes, depending on how good you are at trying to take the Behemoth down. And then it's another 2 hours of that, and then again, same thing. I think that's how it kind of plays out. That's how I'm feeling it plays out, which I kind of wish I didn't break it down in my head, because when I did, I'm like, I want to fight more Behemoths than I do these other things. But that other stuff obviously adds to the pacing, the story, and obviously in the Snap you were saying you don't know how much they kind of add to the story or build upon this. They really do. There's actually quite an in-depth story they're kind of building upon. With the lore you can find as well, and obviously just what you get told by the characters you meet and the voice in your head and things like that. So it really does play up on this story they're trying to tell, and I think for me that's gripping me just as much as wanting to fight the Behemoths now.
It's cool, and I can't wait to, because it's kind of like the first one. I think they've shown in some of the marketing and stuff for it, but I really have no idea what to expect for the other ones.
I think it's the first and the third one are the ones they've shown on a lot of promos. They may have shown like little clips and snippets of the second one, but even with just watching it on a video, it will not give you that feel.
I was going to ask how many there are, but people might see that as a spoiler. Send me a message later.
I think a lot of people have answered it in reviews and things like that. So I'll tell you later, but unless you want me to say.
Well, I suppose if it's common knowledge, Got to say now, people can
four, I believe. I think it's four, I believe. Some people, I'm pretty sure one says 3, but I believe it is 4.
Okay. A decent number then. And it's about 8 to 12 hours to finish. So probably about 15 hours.
I'm going to say around about 12 hours. If I'm breaking it down, it's 2 hours before facing a Behemoth. You're getting at least the chapters there that probably lead you up to about 8 hours. I think I'm 4 hours in at the moment, or 5 hours playtime. And I'm up to nearly the third Behemoth. So I think, it really does.
What difficulty are you playing on?
I think normal. And with your mention of weapons and certain ones that you find, there is certain weapons that you will get later on as well that kind of really play on stuff as well. So keep an eye out for those. That I think, look, again, it's the same thing. I'm not going to go into detail of those because with you two, these weapons add more story and lore. And I think, again, that the world building they do around just everything that kind of happens, I think is really well done. And that's, like I said, that's the gripping thing for me. Like, it's getting to the point where the behemoths are just becoming, that's cool. But what's going to happen next kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, something that's cooler than the actual behemoths themselves, which is impressive. Yeah, I have the first weapon I think you're referring to. It's very cool. Yeah, and it's obviously got a great reception out there. So people seem to really dig it, which is good. As all the reviews that I saw, some of the reviews I saw, they seem to be mentioning some technical issues. I feel like I've been quite fortunate. What I played beforehand, there was no issues, and then it was a patch on day one. And yeah, when I played it after that, I still haven't had any issues. So I'm experiencing nothing with it. I think it's pretty good. It's mild jank. The only thing I'm finding awkward is just climbing. Sometimes is a bit like more awkward than it needs to be because your hand's a bit sticky on the walls. I find it, get my hand off so I can pick on the next bit. And yeah, I sometimes have to. Yeah, I find that a bit annoying. I hope they patch the climbing. It's not a deal breaker. It doesn't ruin the experience, but it just takes you out a little bit at the moment where you kind of just not as smooth as everything else in the game is. Weirdly, unnecessarily so as well, because like everyone else seems to be able to do climbing quite straightforward.
I mean, I find it quite weighted the way the hands move, so I feel like that kind of affects the climbing. Because obviously, like in games like Blade and Sorcery, you climb as fast as you want to climb, in a sense. And I feel like that's one thing this game does. Your hands, you move your hands up quite fast, so your hands still kind of like about 2.5 seconds behind. And you kind of notice that a little bit with the way you move your hands, but once you get used to it and that kind of delay, well, that's the way I'm viewing it in my head, is this little bit of delay. That's now made it a little bit easier to do. Technical issues, I've still run into a few, even past the patch, but they're going to end up fixing it eventually. I know that's not really an excuse for people that have bought it straight away. They want this game to be running straight out the door, but sadly, that's the time we are in with games, and it is with every developer you speak to, you fix one thing, you break another thing. That's just how it works. And you keep doing that until you fix everything, and then, it works properly.
In terms of other platforms, it sounds like the Quest 2 is not a great experience. It sounds like it's quite compromised there. Quest 3 though sounds decent, not as well done as on PSVR 2, but still good experience. And then while PC VR has the best technical experience, it's quite buggy. So for now, I think Upload VR suggested that PSVR 2 was the best place to play it for now, which is unusual.
I watched, I think as I was talking to Beardo Benjo in his comments, and I think I watched his video as well, and he was playing it on PC, and it seemed to look okay. But again, a lot of the videos you're seeing is that first section, and I've found that first section is pretty much flawless. The issues don't happen until the second section. That's how I've kind of, because when I did my video, I was like, okay, this is great, this is still great. And then I got to the second section, I was like, oh, okay, that's just happened. Now this has just happened. But again, I've paused during the second section until the patch came out, and then a lot of the issues have been fixed, especially the popping on the second section pre-release was horrendous. That has now been fixed. And when I mean popping, I mean I could see through floors, walls. I could look through a wall and see an enemy spawning, kind of thing. Which isn't that's been fixed. Obviously, there's still slight popping here and there with foliage and things like that, but I can get past that. That's not going to bother me. But obviously, a wall disappearing, that's really going to make me go, oh, okay.
Oh well, hope they keep patching it and polishing it up. I guess that's why codes are quite late out the door.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm sure they'll keep patching it. I mean, they've got they're doing the beta on the arena mode as well, aren't they? So they're going to keep adding to that, which I think could be quite fun. Yeah,
I haven't even looked at that yet.
Me either.
Not even dropped into that. No, I don't suppose anyone else is playing the campaign. It's too good. Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job of it. I'm sure they'll, this could spawn sequels, or it's a great IP. It's one of those games that you just want to tell non-VR gamers, like, just check this. It's so good. This is something you need to check out just for that sense of awe and epicness and drama of it all. It's great. Lovely. Well, has anyone got any final thoughts on Behemoth before we move on?
Just excited to see more of it, personally.
Yeah, I'm not really a final thought. I just want you both to tell me your thoughts when you reach the second Behemoth, just so I can hear your thoughts on that. That's what I'm waiting for.
I will. Might be a while now, but Okay, well, I'm sure we'll come back to that as we play more of it and once we all finish it and we can do our final wrap-up thoughts. In the meantime, let's talk about some other games. Let's just cover off a bunch of games that have got updates, which might be a good, fun reason to jump into some of them again. And I'm very excited by this first one. It might be enough for me to download or buy Drums Rock, because it is receiving a Cyberpunk 2027 update with some tracks from none other than Keanu Reeves and his band Samurai. Cyberpunk 2077, my favourite game of all time. Now comes to Drums Rock.
That's your favourite game of all time?
Do you not remember this?
Do you not know this?
Okay.
No.
I'm surprised you haven't bought yourself a PC with a 4090 graphics card just to play it in VR.
Well, yeah, don't, because...
Give him time. Give him time.
Yeah, it'll happen. I think that game just about runs at a 4090 in VR.
Yeah.
So it's got 4 tracks on there. I couldn't tell you what any of these tracks are. I'm sure I'd recognise them from the game, but yeah. So there you go. You both got Drums Rock. You both be.
Yeah. It was one of the games I played early on in PSVR 2. It's good fun.
Yeah, remember that.
Big fan of it.
Of course you are.
There's actually a band on there. Was it Cabin Boy Jump Ships? That one of their songs were on there as well. And I've known of that band for so long. And when that happened, I was hyped. Just going over everyone else it, but it doesn't sound like a real band. But yeah.
Well, that update is live now on Meta and PlayStation. So if you like Cyberpunk and you like Drums Rock, fill your boots. Next up, an update which I think at the moment is just PC and Quest, is Vertigo 2 is getting the Aether DLC, and that's due to come in 2025. And it's just Steam, actually, isn't it? It's not,
just
not
Steam.
on Quest yet, is it? Yeah. So what's Into the Aether all about then?
I didn't even play Vertigo 2, so I've not really know much. No, I was going to play it, and then I saw some of the issues and the jank that some people were happening, and then there was certain, save issues, and there was this one bug, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take a step back, and I didn't get round to it.
Apparently, I did see from a tweet by Perp Games himself, but it runs like butter on the PS5 Pro, Laurie, Vertigo 2, apparently. So, might be worth picking up again.
I had a bit of Jack. There was a few bits. There was a few kind of like, I don't know if it's game breaking bugs, but definitely some like progress, like losing progress update bugs and stuff when you reloaded it and stuff. So that was mildly annoying, but that was a while ago. Yeah, it's a very good game. It's very well polished. It's very much like Half-Life. If you liked Half-Life, then this is probably as close as you'll get to playing Half-Life in VR. But yeah, this is coming in March 30th. I'm just trying to get some more information about it. Yeah,
I didn't. It's not one that I probably will pick it up, play it on Steam now though, seeing as the DLC is only coming there. But yeah, never got round to it. I've heard good things.
It's a shame. I wonder if it will come to PSVR 2 later. You'd have to assume so.
I think it depends, because I think my understanding is that Vertigo 2 really pushes the PS5 as it is, and that's why it runs run a lot better in the PS5 Pro. So whether, depending on what the DLC is, if it's just going to be too much for the PS5, then you might not, and they can't just... can't imagine they would just release it for PS5 Pro. It doesn't feel like something that Sony would allow. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I can't see that happening. A very niche of a niche there. Okay, next up then is Among Us. It's getting a Wild West themed event in January, which is not one I saw coming, I have to admit. Yeah, so... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say you'd never see the imposter there, would you?
No.
Everyone's an imposter.
Everyone.
So it does have a kind of gameplay changing mechanic. It introduces a deputy, which is they get to choose who's going to get voted out. So
Yeah,
I think
it's a bit similar to how like Pavlov has a deputy. I think they're going to try and play it a bit similar to that on their Trouble in Terrorist hand. But yeah, new cosmetics, map change, and all that kind of stuff as well.
so. It's like rather than ever taking a vote on it, it's just someone gets to decide who they think it is.
If
If
they're
they're
doing it
wrong.
the same as Pavlov, no. But if they're going to be changed up a bit, then possibly. I was only taking note of the map change and the 10-gallon hats. That was enough to make me go, yay! Okay, time to try and beg Alex to pick this up again, so I have someone to play it with. It's one of them games where I bought it when it came out. I played it for 2 days or a day. I wouldn't even count it as a full day. I jumped in with Phil, and never again. Yeah, never again.
Well, that's just the effect of Phil, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that might be Phil more so than anything else.
Oh, poor Phil.
Yeah.
All right. Well, another update, which might be more to your taste then, Reece, is the new Synth Riders Barbie Dance and Dream update. Which, wow, if you've seen the trailer for this, it's very Barbie.
Yes,
It's
very pink.
very Barbie. And it's not, I'm disappointed it's not any Dua Lipa on there, I think. Maybe there is.
I don't think so.
No, it's just one
No,
song.
it just seems to be just like Barbie, like very Barbie crazy songs. Like, I don't know, another sort of song. It's not the sort of songs you recognise, I think. But as you're a huge Barbie fan, I don't know, maybe.
I've been tempted, to be fair, just because I really do enjoy the Synth Rider experiences, and every time I'm like, I'm going to buy that, and I go, nah.
I bought it. I just haven't played it yet. So I have bought it.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm like, I need to try this. And I'm like, it's £3. And I've got loads of Quest credits. I'm like, right, I'll buy it on a Quest. It's fine. But I haven't played it yet. But it's like, when you see some of it, like, I can imagine me like synthing along to this in Barbie's car and all that. Surely, let's live up to stereotype.
Your husband's gonna walk in on you playing this and be like, what the fuck is this?
What's become of him?
Yeah.
I mean, Synth Riders is fun. It doesn't matter what song you play. I mean, in with the is it the 90s pack or the 80s pack that we played that time? And I don't know all the songs of that, but the ones I did know, I was singing along with me and Alex playing it, and that was just a great laugh. So I genuinely, that game, I don't think it matters what song you're playing.
No,
like you're gonna have a good time.
Fair enough. Right, well, those are the updates for games that are coming. So it's a few there: Jum's Rock, Vertigo, Among Us, and Synth Riders. Top Barbie.
Barbie, the new VR game.
Come on, Barbie.
I'm surprised there isn't a Barbie VR game. I mean, maybe this is testing the waters. Maybe you'll get that next, Alex.
Yeah, can't wait. I can live my life as Ken.
In the Barbie VR game, you create your dream house.
Yeah, that sounds a bit more horror.
I actually have a Barbie dream house just next to me here for my daughters. I should add.
Yeah, glad he added that. I was about to go, Laurie, what's in your Barbie dream house?
Yeah, no, it's in its box still.
It's a Christmas present.
Yes, it's a Christmas present.
This is where he finds out his daughters watch this, and they have just spoiled Christmas for themselves.
I mean, I think they suspect they know they're getting it. It's at the top of their Christmas list. So I think they'd be kicking off if they didn't get it. But yeah, it would ruin some of the Christmas magic if they had this episode. So, luckily, I don't think they check in and listen to this. So, we're fine.
So, do you not tell your friends and family then, like you say at the end of the episode every time?
No, the children.
I mean, quite a lot of family members do. Hello, Joe. Hello, Rich. Listen, but not the girls. They are only 5, so this would not really be much of interest to them. I suspect.
Probably not.
But yeah, let's talk about some new games that have either been revealed or getting ports or got some dates confirmed. And we shall start with a game that I had never heard of before, but apparently it's quite a big deal. It's UNDERDOGS, all in capitals. You have to pronounce it UNDERDOGS. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, this is a very popular game. Joe, what? I'm a bit frustrated because I picked it up on the Black Friday sale because I never got around to playing this one. I picked it up literally, I think it was last week. And then obviously they do this announcement. I was like, really annoyed that I still haven't got around to playing it. But yeah, everything I've heard, fantastic game. I mean, when it first came out, we were seeing videos of people playing it, people smashing their TV screens, their monitors, and things like that. It's the way you have to move.
Classic.
I like the kind of setting for it and the way they've done the voiceovers. It's very much London, like inspired. How I don't even know how you would. I don't know what the type of talk you would call it, but slang. It's not Cockney slang, is it? But yeah, it's the way they've done
almost
it.
Parody of it. It's like,
it does seem like they're really ripping on the old. I think some people call it roadmen, something like that. But yeah, they're very much ripping on that. But it looks good, and yeah, everything I've heard is great.
Is it kind of like a Rigs type thing? That was the PSVR 1 game.
I remember that game. That game made me feel sick.
Yeah, I played that
I
once.
think you move with your hands on this, like you kind of a bit like a gorilla style tag thing. Is it? Alex, did you ever get around to playing it?
No, I've never actually played it. I do have it, but I've never played it.
So this is what happens when you've got too many games to play.
Yeah.
This is what happens. Okay. Yeah, I think you move like that, and then it's a roguelike. So for all you fans of roguelikes out there, you're gonna love this one.
Yeah, but it's an urban sci-fi brawler. Urban sci-fi brawler, described as.
It does look fun.
It looks cool, but
soundtrack sounds really good as well. Like from what I've heard of that.
Yeah, but it looks cool. Whether or not it's something that I would normally want to play, we shall see. But if you tell me it's a big deal, if you tell me it's a good game, then
it's a big deal.
I'll give it a go. If people love it, I will always give stuff a go. And that's coming next year. We don't know when though, do we? Sure.
Not yet.
Just as early 2025. I think they're hoping for Q1, but we'll see.
Okay, cool. Well, look forward to that one. Next up is Pools, confirmed, PSVR 2. Now, this game, I can't work out what this is all about. Is this some sort of horror game? Is this just some sort of...
It's a horror game for Lewis
only.
No,
Game?
it's like subliminal horror type thing, isn't it? So it's all just perception and essentially just weird.
You think there's going to be something there kind of thing.
Yeah, the description of it on Steam, I'll read it out. It's a walking simulator. Explore, admire, and listen. Uncanny, relaxing, unnerving, eerie, immersive. No monsters chasing at you or jumping towards your screen, but it can feel oppressive at times by invoking fears of getting lost, the dark, tight spaces, and liminal space architecture. What the fuck?
I mean, I don't think that'll cause any. Don't think that'll cause any fears to me.
It doesn't sound fun though, does it? I don't want to.
It's think just not mentioned the spiders.
Invokes the fear of getting lost.
Forgot that part.
It looks very nice. It looks very pretty. It looks kind of like photorealistic, just walking around swimming pools, basically.
I mean, but unless you have a fear of water, then maybe this might really shit you up. But no, I believe Gritty played it. I think he mentioned it before, and he says, it's just a game where you kind of walk around that looks good. So I'm intrigued to play it. I've had no intention to play this outside of VR, but when it got announced coming to PC VR, and obviously now they've confirmed with PSVR 2, I am intrigued to try it now. Some games like that can be quite peaceful.
Well, that's coming next year. Again, don't know when. A game we do have a better idea when it's coming. There's Madison, which is already out on PSVR 2. It's now coming to Quest in December, or aiming for a December release date. So not long to wait. If you want to really freak yourself out and ruin your Christmas, then if you've got Quest, you can now do so.
Yeah, I was having a joke with Pert on Twitter about this one because I pretty much said, they've made it for Quest, so you can now play it while sitting on the toilet, just to kind of save yourself some time because. Yeah, we all know how this game hit me. I still haven't been able to play a horror game properly ever since. I think this game's now made every other horror game feel scarier than it is. Of course, heart palpitations. So don't play it if you've got any heart problems.
I bet I don't know. That's a good. I'm happy enough for a reason to avoid it, and that'll do me. Thanks.
Yeah, it's.
You don't need a reason, Alex. This is not an Alex game.
Yeah, it's like when we were talking to Perp at EGX, and I was talking about this one, and we were just literally having a good laugh about it. And I said, everyone that I've witnessed play this game played it with their hands close to their chest, with their body all coiled up in like a defensive state. I mean, like you always say, Laurie, I don't want to be feeling like that in VR. I want to relax and have a good time in VR. This is one of them games where you're not relaxed at any point. You hear thunder and you shit yourself. It's terrifying every step of the way. It's terrifying.
Well, if you're into that sort of thing, fill your boots. I'm sure it'll do very well.
Yeah, I think it will
do very well. Next up is Cold VR, which is also aiming for a December launch on PC VR, PSVR 2, and Quest. So that's cool. You've played the demo of this, haven't you, Reece? Which is the first 6 levels or so you can play.
Yeah, they've added more they've updated the demo and added more, but I've not went back to playing them yet. But what I've played with the original demo, absolutely loved it. Can't wait for this one. It's really well done. The way they've kind of done this story element as well, like with actual real.
Well, stop you there.
We're
You say
lost.
they. It's he. It's your one guy.
Yes, he. Sorry. Well, and he is also in the game as well. He does these cutscenes where he kind of talks to you. So very well done. And they've also got like a horror, like you said, he's also got a horror element to the game as well. So where you have to kind of go through these back rooms, and they're very creepy. So on the surface, it looks like just a shooter, and then you play it for a bit, and then you notice there's these kind of horror elements to the back rooms, but they're kind of just one level here and there scattered across. So yeah, looking forward to playing this when it fully comes out.
Intriguing.
I just want a pair of the trainers that they've been given it.
What about Max?
Yeah.
Oh,
They do look really nice, don't they?
They are. They're very, very nice. Adidas Code VR limited editions.
Please.
Like, come on. I know there's only like 40 pairs or whatever. But
Yeah, it's very limited numbers, wasn't it?
yeah.
So I think it was a Beardo Benjo posted a picture, and the was like, "You're not meant to post these." It's shit, sorry.
Cool. Well, I look forward to getting to that one, hopefully, in the next few weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we are in December already.
Perfect cold time.
Yeah. Very seasonal. Good topical. It feels very cold this weekend. Yeah. Let's then finally talk about on the new releases is my first Gran Turismo, which the name of that really makes me laugh because I think it's going to be like one for like babies to play. Like,
It does sound like that. That's exactly what I thought when I seen it. It's like, oh, is this for children?
It's just like a sort of, more than a demo. It's like a kind of complete experience, and it's supposed to be evoking like the original Gran Turismo. I don't know, is that because of the cars they give you or the track that's there? I don't even know how many tracks it includes. But the main game is incredibly generous. There is like so many tracks in the main game. But yeah, it's cool that there's this is out. It's free. So if you've never played Gran Turismo before and you have PSVR 2, definitely just download this because you can play the whole thing in VR as well. I'm just reading now. There are 3 different tracks included, 18 cars. So that's cool. And they've tuned them especially for new players. So that's pretty cool.
Does it have a plan?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing.
No idea. No idea. But it's got...
2 seconds. Let me turn the PlayStation on.
It's got a mix of the driving and some car learning. Like this, the game does. It mixes in like you're going to learn about the cars now and the backstory of the cars and the manufacturer and the label and stuff. And so let you start collecting them and look around the garage. There's so much of that game is just not just the actual driving, it's just all the stuff around it as well. So they've obviously tried to include a taste of all of that as well. So yeah, I really like Gran Turismo 7. So this is cool if it's like an extended demo for people. And good one as well for VR because people can try this now and find out if they can actually manage to play this game in VR if it makes them completely motion sick and they can't play it. Like poor old Ben. And poor old Ben. So give this a go, and if you like it and you're blown away by it, which you almost certainly will be because GT7 in VR is amazing, then maybe go on and buy the whole main thing. I'm sure it'll be on sale shortly if it's not already.
This will be my first time trying Gran Turismo in VR. So
wow! Oh, awesome.
So I'm going to be playing that this week. I didn't get a chance because obviously Behemoth and then some of the other games that popped up. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to trying my first Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yay! He's a big boy now.
Well, no, I won't be a big boy until I upgrade to the actual full version, but we'll give it a go.
Yeah, what are those little red and yellow cars that kids can like pedal around in? You know, those things like you get, Alex, you know what I mean?
The Coupé cars.
Yeah, is that what you're driving it?
Yeah. That would be quite cool. A little Tykes car that you're going round the track in.
A little battery-powered Mercedes that kids like have to drive.
I've got one of them. I've got one of them in the garage.
Of course you have.
Like all these VR game ideas that we just keep throwing out there to developers to tell you. Yeah, I'm going to play it this week. I know. Every time it goes on sale, I always think about picking it up and I'm like, no, I've got something else to play. And then I leave it and it goes off sale and it's just the same vicious cycle. And then when they announced this, I was like, oh, at least I'm going to actually get to give it a go before.
Yeah, and let's wait to see by the end of the week, Alex, whether or not Reece goes out and buys a whole racing rig and the steering wheel and the chair. It's like going to be all in. It's like,
he's all in, that's it.
I love it. I mean, if you need one, I suspect Alex is probably selling one cheap.
Well, I was eyeing up a new one in the Black Friday sales last year.
Up a new one.
I wanted like a proper play seat one, like a proper.
Oh my god!
The way to put it.
How many hours do you think you've used your current rig?
But
Never mind. No comment.
I doubt you'd hit one.
There you go. Put it for sale, just like as new, practically.
Yeah, I'll buy
Okay.
it, Alex. We'll talk about that later.
Cool. Well, there you go. Gran Turismo. Right, let's talk about a couple of bits that are not related to any games in particular now. And this was a bit of news that you shared today with me, Reece, and that's that Apple Vision Pro is currently set to start using the Sense controllers. Apparently, Apple and Sony are in discussions to, start using the Sense controllers, which is a pretty cool development.
Yeah.
I guess from Apple's point of view, like, the headset's ridiculously fucking expensive already, and if they start putting controllers in, it'll be even more so. But without the controllers, it does close it off to lots of potential games that people could be buying for it and things they could be doing with it. So having some controller support on there would mean that developers can actually make or port games across.
But I mean, you've got to wonder how beneficial and how worthwhile it is. Developers like saying, right, you can start to port your game to the Apple Vision Pro, but this is a user base, and then they need to spend an extra, 150, 160 quid, probably, for a set of controllers on top of what they've already bought to even think about being able to play the game. You're like, is there really any point?
Well, yeah, I mean, Apple people got more money than this, haven't they?
Yeah.
So
I think if you just drop $3,500 or something, you're not bothered about spending whatever next, are you?
But those people, those people actually care, though? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
bought it for that.
No,
I agree with that.
I don't know. Apple probably just have the money to say, look, how much is it going to cost you to port this game onto our platform? All right, here's that. Just here you go. Just do it. And so the developers are like, well, it's risk free. We'll just do the port. We'll take Apple's money. And maybe they want like an Apple Arcade for VR as well. So they need some games on there. I don't know. But I suppose Reece, more exciting for you is it means they have to start selling the controllers separately for the first time.
Not really exciting for me. I've got a spare set of controllers. It's exciting for other people. I just want them to start selling them. I want Sony to pull their finger out of that one. It annoys me.
Yeah, at this stage of the life cycle, it doesn't make any sense that you can't buy them.
Yeah, especially because they are quite breakable.
Yeah.
If you play anywhere near a wall.
Near a wall. Yeah. I think I nearly broke mine on the back of the PC chair. That's what.
Or even just banging them into each other, which a lot of games try and get you to do. Like, a lot of games.
With the Sense controllers, I definitely do find like with reloading guns and things like that, you hit them together. Like that's why I prefer playing shooting games on Quest, but I prefer the controllers on PlayStation just simply because of the haptics. So them rings around that controller really do cause some issues sometimes.
Yeah, well, no sense of when this is due to happen. Obviously, I think it's just a rumour announced at the moment.
I think from something that I saw that went out, like I think it was reported by Bloomberg that they'd expected it to have been announced by now, and it's been delayed. Like the announcement's been delayed, so I don't think it seems like it's far off.
Yeah,
who knows?
I think on the Upload VR post it says something along the lines, unless they unexpectedly pull the plug on that decision or something like that, which if it is really in the talks with business plans, unless something's signed up with a contract and all that kind of stuff, that can always happen, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's more another example, like with the headset being used on PC to play games, of just the headset just being sort of untethered from the PlayStation and games, and just as more of a piece of hardware for other developers to use and other platforms to use, just because it's great hardware. And it's just Sony. Aren't they developing a headset that is just going to be a pure PC headset, or just as a standalone thing? That's
Sony.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw.
Yeah, they're developing that one that's more of like kind of like
similar to type one.
Similar to what the Apple Vision Pro was originally intended to be. You use it kind of to do like your work as a workstation and things like that. You can browse on it, and they have a better word for it, but it looks cool though. Like,
well, I mean, it's good that they keep doing R&D on it, and it suggests that if they come up with something, then a lot of the stuff they develop will make its way onto a PSVR 3 one day, perhaps. Who knows? Not that we need one anytime soon.
Can't
roll
see
on the
that
PlayStation
happening.
6.
No, No, Reece. Just bought PS5 Pro.
I've just bought the
Not
Pro. I don't
any
need a
more
PlayStation 6.
hardware for at least 4 years. All right.
No, they'll get
If
you in
that
2
comes
years'
out,
time.
oh, don't. It's
Nah.
don't. No,
No,
because
it'll probably be 4 years, to be fair. I hope
I'll
so
be
anyway.
back. I'll be back on NX presenting there if that happened on the internet's favorite Nintendo podcast.
Something need to.
Yeah, come on, guys, come on, smile. Where's the latest episode? I went to start. I realised, hold on a minute, I've not had an episode of NX in a few weeks. They're just like biding their time, I think, waiting for the new Switch 2 to be revealed, and then they're going to explode back onto the scene, like the explosive guys that they are. But talking of PlayStation, again, some new update for PSVR 2, which may give it another lease of life, is apparently it's now going to be, well, not apparently, it does have hand tracking support now, which is unexpected and another kind of big, seems like quite a big deal that Sony have just not mentioned. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, we didn't even tell anyone they done it. I think people have just seen it out in the wild. This is at a convention or trade show or something called SIGGRAPH Asia, and they've been demonstrating the new hand tracking functionality that they've added and developed in an update, that the headset can now just track fingers and hand motions and things. So yeah, that's unexpected and quite cool.
It's cool, and it means some of the games from Quest that have hand tracking, like, you know, Maestro. I mean, what's that new Masters of Light that's coming over? That was a hand track game. You know, they could update that to have it. There's a lot of others as well that use hand tracking that can also come over. So that's good. I have seen a few posts from some people that have tested. I say a few posts. Saw the initial post of the video going out and people talking about it there, and then there was a post where somebody has tested it, and he basically said, "Oh, what better than the Quest hand tracking and the Pico's hand tracking?" And Alex made a valid point in the Discord. Hand tracking just about works at best. Like, it's cool, but it doesn't always work. And when it does work, it feels cool. But literally, it's like, even when I was playing Walltown Wonders, like, and this has nothing to do with the game, it can heavily affect with like lighting and things like that. When you kind of like point towards a wall, it can go off. So I mean, hand tracking is a very tricky one to kind of implement to perfection. So by somebody saying, "Oh, it works better on this platform," and now obviously somebody said that, everybody's kind of jumping on that. It's best on PlayStation. Hand tracking's best here. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter where it is. It always has its issues.
Yeah. I mean, and the games you're going to play with it are always going to be very different. It's like when Connect came out. It's like, well, it's a different style of game than it opens up, a more kind of casual stuff. But I always would rather play games with a controller and just have that more control over the input and stuff. But I guess it just opens up that more casual market, and you could have. I think what interesting for me is that it would allow Sony to demonstrate PSVR 2 in a lot more places for people. They would just like, here, whack on this headset, and you can play a game. Just that's what you need to do, put the headset on. You don't need to put the controllers in people's hands, because I feel like if no one's ever played VR before and you try and put their sense controllers, someone has to put them in your hands. And even when I pick them up now, I still pick them up the wrong way around and have to kind of go to the pass-through to actually see what I'm doing properly. It doesn't feel intuitive. And that's me as someone that's got a controller in his hand every day, for Christ's sake. Like, you can't get a non-gamer. It makes it so much less, or so much more accessible to just be able to use your hands. So from that point of view, I think it's good.
I think from my point of view, where I find hand tracking most useful in things like Quest is actually navigating and kind of when you're starting up. And Sony doesn't have an ecosystem where that would work, because they don't have a dedicated PSVR 2 like homepage. They don't have a dedicated like UI. They don't. I think if they brought something like that along with it to then let you navigate all that with your hands, I think that would be so much better. I think they need, if they're going to bring it, they need to bring something like that with it for me, because that's where I find it most beneficial in Quest. Like, you go in, you get your Quest on, you start doing it with your hands as you're like getting your controllers sorted and stuff, so you're not always reliant on the controllers. I think just getting set up and things like that, I think that's where it needs to come with those kind of things. If they just add hand tracking for random games, I don't actually think it really adds much value at all to the headset, personally.
No, I think that's fair. Like, I mean, like I said, with some games though, like with Maestro, I would rather play it with the hand tracking than the controller and things like that. But then again, that means, well, are they going to bring their game over? Because they might not. And then if they don't, and more people don't actually bring the game across, again, it's something that's just, you can go, oh, it has hand tracking now. and that's it. You can end the conversation there. But I do agree with Alex there. Like typing on the keyboard on Quest when you've got like the full floating keyboard in front of you, your fingers like that works really well. So they did that so you can browse and watch videos. They need to get it so you can watch your 3D movies on it again, things like that.
Is it if they don't bring any sort of update there? And it was just as you were talking about something like Maestro, Reece, you would almost need to go in with the controllers to go and activate the game, and then take the controllers off to actually play it.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah,
like thinking about it like that. So yeah.
Well, yeah,
it's what we
Walkabout
have Alex
Minigolf
here,
had
his
that,
smart
didn't they?
one.
Remember we had the dev on from Walkabout, Alex, and he was saying, yeah, you have to. There isn't a way you could just switch off the controller you're not using. I think they had to.
They had to ask Sony to like implement a way so they could turn one of them off, didn't they?
It says you can now do that, can't you? That is now a thing. But I suppose at least it shows that Sony are still working on it. They haven't just put it out to die and just now forgotten about it. They are still developing it. They're adding more functionality to it. So maybe, because that would be great, wouldn't it, if you switched it on and just the UI changed to acknowledge the fact that you're playing in VR now and things don't need to just be on a flat panel. You could have a VR 3D menu, which would just be really cool, if nothing else. And it's the sort of thing you think, why don't Sony do that? Make that normal menu you've got, but just put it in 3D and immersive and just blow people's minds. It'd be really cool. And if you could use hand tracking to help navigate that would be cool. And if there was some non-gaming apps they could add to it, that would be cool. It feels like maybe they could go to either way, couldn't it? They could just carry on as they are now and just kind of not really talking about it and just letting occasional games come out for it, none of them made by themselves. Or they could think, well, actually, we've been put out the headset, we've been getting all the ducks in a row, we've been quietly updating it, and now we're ready to almost kind of relaunch it with a load more new features and announce some first-party games. Who knows? I've given up being any wishful thinking now. We'll just see what happens.
Laurie's given up being their post boy now. He can't do it anymore. They've hurt his feelings too many times.
I mean, it is what it is, and I feel like the games we're getting from third-party developers are stuff like Behemoth and Metro are fantastic, and we're getting Alien next week, and we've got Wanderer coming. There's plenty to play on it still, and it would be
100%.
fantastic if Sony would add some first-party class and budget to some proceedings, but I mean, I'm not expecting them to do so at this point, really, beyond maybe an Astro port next year of Rescue Mission, but
I'm still in the same seat as Alex though, with an actual UI for the VR. Because ever since I played Steam VR, and Steam has their own UI where it shows you all your games that are actual VR compatible games on a screen, and you select from that, or you can walk around and adjust your play space there. You can put different statues and figures and things like that in this area. You can customize it. It's a small little thing, and it probably not a lot of people use it. They still just go straight to their Steam menu and select their game, but it's still nice to have it. And I think that'd be quite nice, because then you wouldn't have to keep foldering your games, because when you turn on your VR, you're just going to see your VR games and nothing else. And I think that's another thing, because I'm now like got 3 folders on my PlayStation from like my PSVR 1 games and my PSVR 2 games, and it's like you're going to have 100 in each folder, and it's getting a bit silly now. I'm just building folder after folder for something that could just be done within the UI.
Yeah, I would love it if I just switch it on, and if I'm not playing the VR, just don't show me any of the VR games.
Yeah, exactly.
And as soon as I put the headset on, just show me my VR library and just show me my non-VR games. Yeah, that is just such an easy quality of life thing they could implement. But I mean, they don't even have themes, do they, really? Although they do quietly. They've added 30th anniversary themes, and everyone was like, what the fuck? You could have done themes all this time, and you just waited and given us like 5 themes in one. It's like, which people are
and
desperate
only for a
to
limited time as well.
Yeah.
Is it only a limited time?
Yeah.
Of course it is. It's
oh
Sony.
My God, no.
People were like, please let me pay you for some themes so I can like personalise my PS5. Like, no, you can have some free ones for a week.
For a couple of weeks, yeah.
I've been turning my PlayStation off and turning it back on just so I can keep hearing that startup noise. Like I've just been doing that all week. I'm probably going to break it by the end of the week, but it's all I've been doing.
You know what? I said it on the PS4 one, because I looked through them all one by one, and then I think I did the PS4 last, and it's still on that. I couldn't care less, to be honest. It's just, it's the difference.
I don't care. You can take them away from me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of think I'm that bothered about. But
I quite like the one you get on the PS5 Pro, because it does have a different background for the PS5 Pro. Yeah.
Yes, like magic processor and circuits and all sorts of.
Me and my PS5 Pro.
Wizzy colours.
Oh, you got this drive for me now? Like,
I know. I saw.
Oh, there you go. There's a flex.
Do you know what? The disc drive is more of a flex than the PS5 Pro itself, which is quite funny, isn't it?
much harder to buy. So yeah, in terms of the rarity of it, Yeah. I still have not got one. Didn't get this drive, and I didn't get PS Plus either. So I'm stuck in no man's land. I can't play games on disc. I don't have a sub. We have to buy games digitally. No, I'm not. I'm just going to play my Xbox. Still got Game Pass for another 6 months. So.
So this is why PlayStation doesn't want to help. They hear you talking. They go, he loves PlayStation, and he hits them with, I'm going to play Xbox. Like, no,
I will be. You know what? I'm going to be talking about Indiana Jones. So next week on the pod, I'm going to just talk about that.
I can't wait to see
people
mod that.
Games.
I just can't wait to see people mod that to VR on PC, and I'm hoping somebody manages to make it all work with the controls, so like actual motion controls. Because if so, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, yeah. Xbox. It's going to get some bit more time now these days. Cool.
Yeah,
all right. Well,
I'll be playing it on PC, definitely.
Well, let's talk about what we've been playing, and I don't have anything else to add because it's just been Behemoth. But what about you, fine fellows? Alex, why didn't you go first?
I've not been playing too much at the minute, but I have played it. I'm going to just talk about one little thing that I've been playing just now, and it's something that friends of the show, Something Random, have made. And it's a little After Toy Trains, which is lovely, and then they've got Harpagon, which is coming. This one kind of came out of the blue and is very much an Alex game. So this is a Survivors like. So this is the first Survivors like in VR, I think, potentially. Maybe not the first, it's certainly the first one that I've. And so I've played this a little bit, and it is fun. So basically, you're setting up, it almost feels, rather than it being you controlling it in terms of you've got your character and like Vampire Survivors and you are just guiding them round. Basically, your survivor goes on your hand. So like your hand is your controller, and they're like, I don't know if you ever remember a video put out of a game called Yuki, and it was it was basically like a little action hero in your hand. It's almost like that. And you select the different weapons that you can add during the round as you go. So at the start, as you level up, you get different weapons that unlock, and you select them using like these different swords. And this is called Survivors of Xcalibur. Sorry, I should have actually said the title. And you pick these different swords in the slots. No, this is Survivors of Excalibur. So basically, you need to protect this city, and I haven't managed to do it yet, so I've not got to like day 2 or whatever. It starts on day 1, and I don't know how long it goes on for and what, but it's quite early access game. It's $3.99, I think, so it's one that you could go and just take cheap. a little shot on, and it's fun. Like these characters come towards you, and as you upgrade like different weapon slots, you can get different abilities for your hero. Whereas like it's things like you can press the grip button in the controller and it swaps from one hand to the other, so you can go and start taking out people on the other side. They get different abilities, like some different swords, different guns, different like other like missiles above their heads, things like that, just to take out these waves of enemies that are coming at you in a typical like Survivors like game. And it works nicely, I think, for an early access game. It's got good potential. I don't know what the rest of it's going to look like. The one probably negative I put in there is like I don't particularly like the music. It doesn't like have that same kind of vibe as something like Vampire Survivors, where the music and all that is really good and picks up. I don't feel like it feels very one note, and I just feel like it could do a wee bit more. But I've really enjoyed what I've played so far. But for $3.99, if it's something like that on Quest that you like this type of game, then go give it a shot. And I think it's only going to grow in terms of they want to polish it, they want to add to it. But I've enjoyed what I've tried so far.
So when you said this is a Survivor game, was it Vampire Survivor that invented the genre? Is that where it all stems from?
I'm not sure if it was the first one. I don't even know if it's technically. I think the genre is known as Bullet Heaven now, isn't it? Rather than
Bullet Heaven.
Yeah, rather than Survivors. Like I just like to call it Survivors. Like it's Vampire Survivors was the one that
sounds better.
Kind of like stuck with me, but I think Bullet Heaven is the kind of official genre, because I think currently in Steam it's like the Bullet Heaven season or something event.
Okay.
Yes. So I think Vampire Survivors is like the first one to really like mainstream these games.
Blow up.
I have never played it.
That's great. You should play it. It's on Game Pass.
I'm sure.
Like
I think I would like it. Yeah, I think I would like it, but I can't get into it.
I swear the Steam library just grows with a new Survivor-like game, like every week. Like there's just like a new one just pop out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, that's Alex adding that.
Yeah. There's a couple I haven't played yet. There are 2 or 3 in there this week that I've not played yet. So yeah.
Right. Well, any more in terms of what we have been playing?
I have played a little Bounce Arcade, as you mentioned there. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't feel like I've played enough to justify it, but gives a good first impression, almost gives a little like Masternoid vibe in terms of how you're playing with the ball. And it's basically like VR pinball, but it's not quite pinball, but you're firing the ball and then you've got your hands almost become the flippers and you've got all these different environments that you're trying to get the high score on. But I'll report back more on that next time when I've played more of it. But good first impression.
Very
Nice.
Cool. Well, over to you, Reece.
I have been playing Dodgecraft, which is, I spoke about it, I think it was last week or the week before. It's Incisive's new game they're bringing out.
Yeah, and
So
you love
this
your
week.
Incisive.
I was thinking to myself, like, the way Alex raves about Masternoid being his, go-to VR game, or just one that he likes to play, even though he's played all these other big things, and one that he just kind of goes, I really enjoy that. I think like Clean Sheet for me was one of them games I look back and I'm like, I really enjoyed that. Even though it's not for everyone, it's just one that I really did like. Dodgecraft, I'm going to give this pause, is better for me. I think it's a lot better than Clean Sheet, and I stopped playing it. I came off it and I messaged James. I was like, I said to him, I was like, Dodgecraft is, and I just left the message there for 4 hours, and he responded back. He was like, well, what is it? I was like, oh, sorry, yeah, Dodgecraft is really good. It's better than Clean Sheet. A lot of fun. It's, again, with them, they've always...
This is rugby, right? Just people that don't know. This is basically you're playing... It's rugby to Clean Sheet's football.
It's kind of nice. Basically, I think the way you described it is this is meant to be more of their tackle simulation to kind of, evasive when people are running towards you, and, rugby in a sense, the way it kind of works. But I feel like this one for me blurred more into being a game more than a fitness game. So whereas like Clean Sheet, you kind of always said like it kind of blurs the line of being a fitness game or a game, and you don't really know which one you're kind of standing on. This one just felt more like a game, like I was proper like slapping the robots as they were coming towards me, trying to dodge them and things like that. Or I say dodge them, there was a mode where you have to dodge. And I mean, on that mode, you're proper having to squat down on the floor, lay down, roll over if you want. Like, it doesn't matter how you want to do it. It depends on your play space size. But no, I've been having a lot of fun with this. I played it again some more today for about 30 minutes and came off sweating. So it's still a really good workout. But at the same point, I feel like it just feels more of a game to me than Clean Sheet did. I feel like Clean Sheet felt like I was playing this football simulator, which isn't an issue. I still really enjoyed it. But I suppose for me, I want to play something that feels like a game sometimes. And Dodgecraft did that. But no, it's coming out this week. Really good. Really enjoyed it. At least I believe it's this week. Yes, I think it is.
You're on mute, Laurie.
God damn it. Anything else that you'd like to mention, Reece?
I played a little bit of Contractors Showdown Exfil Zone, which is their new alpha mode. They announced it during the Upload VR Awards thing. So, yeah, we've spoke about Contractors Showdown on the side quest episodes we did a long time ago. We really enjoyed it. Even Alex had some fun with it, and he's not a fan of shooters.
Alex, like,
yeah, I love saying that to people. It's like, yeah, this is a really good shooter. Alex enjoyed this one, so it's going to be, it's going to be something you might enjoy. But yeah, it's basically an extraction shooter similar to Ghost of War. Obviously a lot of people don't see much competition with Ghost of War, and Contractors Showdown has now done this Exfil Zone, which is pretty much that. You have your bunker, you collect guns, you go out, you do raids. If you die, you lose all your stuff and you have to start again. And it's kind of like that, but just with their in-game engine. And I've been playing the alpha, really enjoying it so far. So, yeah, you'll probably hear more from me on that when it comes out in its full stage.
Still no word on PSVR 2 for Contractors Showdown, is there?
Ghost of War. Contractors Showdown. Yeah, They mentioned it was in their plans, and then I think they lost some players, and they've kind of shifted their, to try and get some retention back to it. It's the thing with multiplayer games, isn't it? You can have so many players one week, and then the next week people just fell off. And with VR games being in multiplayer, it always makes it really difficult. I do believe they should bring it to PSVR 2, just simply because I think it's one of the most smoothest, cleanest VR shooters out there, and I think having that on PSVR 2, I think a lot of players will jump onto it. I think it'll really find its home there. But yeah, I wish them all the best anyway. I really do enjoy Contractors.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right. Well, any other final thoughts, gents, before we wrap things up for this week?
No.
No? Well, it's been great having you back, Alex. And thanks, everyone, for listening. If you have enjoyed this episode, we'd love it. Please tell your family and your friends all about us, just not my children. So on them listening.
That's all right.
If you want to get more involved, please don't hesitate to jump into our Discord and say hello. I've been your host, Laurie. These two have been Alex and Reece, and we will see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.